This is the bulk section. Look at all of these foods. So here's what you do, Landon. You take one of these, like so affordably. We should do that when we get home. Yeah, we're gonna get some of these.
Whoa.
Okay.
Nice.
Gorgeous.
Huge.
Yeah, have you ever seen those before?
What else should we get?
Have you had one of these yet?
What are those?
A passion fruit?
Oh, a passion
We
fruit?
have to get some. Aloha. We're back. And now we're going to make some salad dressings. Now, what would all of these sprouts and everything we're making be without a dressing? And that was one of the best places to start with raw or live food, is to getting an impeccably live or raw food dressing. Now, we talked a little bit about oils before, but I want to introduce to you just a little bit more on the Barlean's oils or the flax oil. It just goes without saying that extra virgin olive oil, you can use that across the board, and you can just never use too much in many of these recipes. But because most people know a lot about olive oil, I'm going to focus on the flax oils today because both of these dressings are exceptionally tasty. I think that flax oil, for some people, it's an acquired taste because some people think it tastes kind of fishy. But if you get a flax oil like this, you are going to have a treat. Because the essence of the oil itself, I'm going to go ahead and pour this into the container while I talk. Because remember when we worked with the flax seeds? Flax seeds have a yummy, yummy, nutty flavor. And this particular oil, as you can see when I'm pouring it, it's rich in the lignans, and lignans are the little teeny flakes that are ground up from the flax oil. And that's what makes this oil so tasty. I know it says essential woman. That doesn't mean a man won't enjoy it. Barlean's came out with an oil for the men, and it's called Omega Man. And it's very rich in essential fatty acids. It's cold pressed, so it's about as live as you can get. There's a date on all of their oils so that when you order them, like I said, and they're pressed and shipped to you, they have a date within 4 months that the oil should be used. They're in dark containers, and they're kept away from the light, and they should be refrigerated. Light oxidizes, warmth oxidizes. So that's why these oils are packaged the way they are. Now I like to save my containers. Here's one of them here where I have taken the label off, and I put my own labels on them because when I make my dressings and they're made with flax oil, then I don't want to put them in, a glass jar like this. This is our carrot juice that we made. I don't want to put it in there because it will be exposed to the light. Will it be exposed to so much light that it would hurt it? I really doubt it. But just on the safe side, and if I have these, why throw them away? They are recyclable, of course, but I like to reuse them. So we are going to use the Essential Woman. I love the taste of this oil. Oh, the Omega Man. What's different about this, it's got the same flax oil base, but it's got pumpkin seed oil in it, and this is a very tasty oil. And like I said, pumpkin seeds, of course, are as good for women as they are for men. But they're particularly known to have some properties in them that are very good for prostate health. So therein lies the reason for Omega Man. Many people take these oils as supplements, almost like they're vitamins. They take them daily in their smoothies or even in a tablespoon. But I like to use them in sauces and dressings because they're so delicious. And why not take these out of a supplement and enjoy them as a food? And when you make these dressings yourself, you'll see why. This first dressing we're going to make is a lemon tahini tamari. And I have some friends that have named it the golden elixir. And it's really tasty. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to start out with the juice of one whole lemon. And we've already juiced this. I was going to demo to you how we juice it. Anybody knows how to squeeze a lemon, but this is one of my favorite methods. Love these knives. Put the top right down here. And I have a strainer. and a measuring cup or any kind of bowl, and we use a lemon reamer. These things are so handy. You can travel with them if you want a lot of lemon juice, or you just want to have them with you, and you simply hold your lemon really nice and firm, and you squeeze the lemon reamer over the strainer so the seeds go into the strainer, and then you have a quick and easy lemonade. If you're making a cocktail that you want a lemon drop martini that are getting so popular now, this is a quick and easy way without getting out an appliance that you have to plug in. I love this little lemon reamer. As you can see, I'm really squeezing the lemon here too with my left hand, and you just turn it, and there you go. Voila, excellent lemon juice. And there's the juice of a whole lemon. Now, if your recipe calls for the juice of a whole lemon, it could be a big lemon or a little lemon. So your dressing could get very lemony or not lemony enough. So you just have to be the judge. So I'm going to put this over here. The juice of a whole lemon, we are going to put a third cup of tamari. There we go. And this is the tamari. Tamari is a salty seasoning. This is wheat-free tamari. It's much like soy sauce. It has a delicious flavor. You can use too much, so be very, very careful not to use too much because it's quite strong. Now this recipe also calls for a 1/4 cup of water, which we've already pre-measured. We're going to put a head of garlic in it, and I'm going to grate some ginger, and then we're going to put in our oil last. See, where's my grater? Right here. Now the way I work with ginger, you could peel this, and you could just throw in the chunk because this great machine will take care of it. But this is my favorite way to do it, and I can kind of gauge. I just grate it on that small piece that we used before, and I just use a little handful here. I reach in and grab this ginger from underneath here, just flake it off, grab it with my hands like this. You can do this in soups or anything. I just hold the ginger right here like this in my hand. I bring it up over here and just give it a nice squeeze. And then you just get a couple of drops of really good fresh ginger. I wish you could smell this. This is so awesome. It just smells great. And you know me, I love to put my hands in my food. It's so good. All right, we're going to turn this on low. Oh, wait a minute, one more ingredient. Tahini. And we're going to use raw, of course. 2 tablespoons of raw tahini. Remember what this is? This is sesame seeds that have been ground. And now I'm going to turn this on sort of low. And there we go, it's low. And I'm going to go ahead and pour my oil in slowly. Look at those lignans in there. Very rich, delicious oil. Now the thing about flax oil and why it's so popular is that flax oil is very rich in omega-3s, which is one of your essential fatty acids. And the thing about essential fatty acids is they're essential. They're essential for our cells to function properly. And our bodies do not make them. We have to get them from food. And that's why flax oil is so popular. So I'm going to turn this up. Give it a nice spin. Turn it off. And I just remembered one of the ingredients. Sea kelp. This makes this dressing. I've often forgotten it or not used it, and I don't like it nearly as much. The sea kelp really adds a dimensional flavor. It adds some thickness. We need about 2 teaspoons. That might seem like quite a lot. I'm just going to do it with my hand here. A couple of teaspoons of sea kelp. Alrighty, we're going to turn this on, give it another spin. There we go. You know, you always add your oil last while the food is spinning that you've already put in there, because the purpose is that'll make it congeal. I don't know if you can see this dressing. We're going to pour it over here, pour it over this nice spinach mixture we have, and there's our golden elixir. We dehydrated these seeds. We did fruit, we made pizza crust. You can also do pumpkin seeds, sunflower seeds, almonds. You can dehydrate all your own nuts. So we're going to sprinkle some of these sunflower seeds right on top of here. And then we're going to take some of these mung sprouts. Remember when we made those? And now we've just got an instant salad. If you have these dressings stored away in your fridge, you will always, if you've done any kind of sprouts, you can buy your lettuce at the at the store already washed and cleaned for you, or use fresh spinach, and there you go. You've got a great salad. Add a couple of crackers, maybe some fresh fruit pieces, fresh vegetables, and voila, you've got a great dressing. Next, we're going to make a carrot tahini. We're going to use that carrot juice we made. All right, you ready for another great dressing? Remember when I said we're going to use this carrot juice again? You know, carrot juice is not just to gulp down and drink as the juice, although that's a great way for it, but we're going to make a salad dressing out of it. I made this once for the owner of one of the culinary arts schools that I taught at, and she goes, oh, I don't know about carrot juice dressing. She loved it. So the recipe calls for the juice of a couple of carrots, but it's just like lemons, you know, they're all different sizes. We're going to use a cup. So a cup of fresh carrot juice. Alrighty, and this is live. If you buy it in the store, you can make it that way too, but it's probably been pasteurized, but you could get it at your local deli. And you can ask your local deli too, if they make juices, to give you some pulp. All right, this dressing calls for 1/3 of a cup of apple cider vinegar. I'll put that in. Raw again. This is Bragg's apple cider vinegar, one of my favorites. It's live, raw, unfiltered, delicious apple cider vinegar. This is another great functional food. And what we're talking about a lot here in this series, Essential Cuisine, is about functional foods. I know I mentioned that at the beginning. I'm just going to keep reiterating it. Because if you're eating and you're eating a dressing, you might as well be eating something that's rich and delicious and that is serving your body so well. It's like being the steward of your own body and giving it the most nutrition you can. You know, like you would do it for your plants or your orchids or anything that you're growing. You would give it the best treatment and the best food you could. It's the same thing we want to do for our bodies. I wanted to pour this oil in for you and show you this because this is beautiful. Look at this. You can tell that it's got pumpkin seed oil in it because of this dark, beautiful green color. And we're going to be working with some pumpkin seed oil soon too. This is a beautiful oil. This is great over steamed vegetables, and I'm going to show you how to do that too. We're going to use some garlic. I'm going to put some sea kelp in it again. This time I'm not going to use quite so much, maybe just a teaspoon or a handful, as it might look like. And we're going to have some tahini, of course. The tahini is really what thickens these dressings. Experiment. Just put your own unique creativity right into your own dressings. All right, now I'm going to blend it and we're going to taste it, and then we're going to see if it needs anything extra. I think it might need a little bit of salt, and we might put a little tamari in it. So I'm going to turn this down, turn it on, and add my oil. Give it a little bit higher spin. You know not to double dip, you know. You've got to have tasting spoons around. At the culinary school, we have these neat little dishes with tons of little teeny spoons in them, and they're called tasting spoons. Wow, that is so good. I think I'm going to put a splash of tamari in it, not much. It's very sweet, because carrot juice is very sweet. And it's also got a vinegar taste to it, that tart kind of taste, which is also very good. But sometimes, the reason I'll use a little tamari is so strong that it's kind of like stevia and many other seasonings that you use. If you put too much of them in there, it takes over because it's so strong, but a little bit goes a long ways. And sometimes it'll be just what you need to give it a little salty edge. I think it's still a little vinegary. We're going to put a little bit more of this. And I'm going to add a teeny pinch of salt. There's some right here. There we go. Now we're going to add the carrot pulp. Look how many things we've used this for already. We've used it to make crackers. And now we're going to thicken our salad dressing. I'm going to use it all. I don't want to really I don't want to blend this, so because we just want it to thicken it. So you don't want to keep blending that, otherwise you'll have like a soupy mixture. Okay, I'm going to take another spoon. Wow, nice consistency. Oh, that's absolutely delicious. Perfect. That's the benefit of tasting as you go along. You definitely want to keep tasting it because you never know the sweetness of the carrots that you have. Everything is always a little bit different. And sometimes you think you measure one way, but then you measure another. Look how nice and thick this is. Isn't that great? Now, I think just for the fun of it, I'm going to take a little bit of this flower of the ocean and hope this opens really easily. Oh, goody, it did. And I'm going to sprinkle this salt on top because, well, I'm going to try. See, I didn't have to do this, but I just can't help myself. I can never follow my own directions, as I said. I don't know if you can see this salt. I'm going to take some and put it out in my hands. Look at that. Isn't that the beautiful, most beautiful consistency? And just sprinkle it over the top there. And I've got a little dish right here I'll put that into. Doesn't that look great? Pumpkin seeds, of course. This is so yummy. Everybody will go, what is in that dressing? They will. They'll just love it. And we'll sprinkle a little sprouts. Not too many because I don't want to... These sprouts, remember when you're using them in dressings, they're very watery because they're full of water. And they will kind of take over, and sometimes you just want to make sure that you don't get your salad too watered down. So there you go, enjoy those. And remember, if you don't have a jar like this that you've saved from the oil, then just go ahead and put it in a glass jar and save it. It's much better in a glass jar than it is a plastic one, okay? We just keep telling you, I just keep telling you, remember those chickpeas, remember that carrot juice, remember all those nuts and seeds? Okay, now we're making them into things, and that's the whole part of live food. These are the chickpeas, also known as garbanzo beans, and we are going to make hummus. We're going to start out with some fresh parsley, and I'm going to put them in the food processor first because they're going to, you know, just grind up all really fine. We're going to save a few pieces for some really nice garnish. You know what? I'm going to do the whole thing, and then we'll save some little tiny pieces for our garnish. I'm going to grind this first. Let's see, let me get this right over here a little bit. There we go. And then we're going to add the chickpeas and some pine nuts. We soaked the pine nuts, just to let you know. Lots of garlic and lots of olive oil. That's really good hummus. I'm going to take out a few of these right now. I have a little dish here already waiting for them, just so we can garnish it when we get done. It's so fun to garnish things because it makes such a difference in presentation. And now I'm just going to grind these just a little bit more, or process these just a little bit more. Then I'm going to throw in the garlic. Well, we're using 5 cloves of garlic. There's a couple people that say, you know, you just can't have enough garlic and you just can't have enough olive oil in live food. I personally don't like a lot of garlic, a lot of raw garlic, but I like a little. And sometimes raw food or live food has way too much garlic for me. All right, lots of lemon juice too. I'm going to put our nuts in. I'm going to go ahead and take the top off. There's our garbanzo beans, chickpeas. It's over here so you can see, and pine nuts. Now, a lot of recipes don't call for pine nuts, but I just love them in hummus. I love them in everything. I'm going to go ahead and start processing that, pulse it a little bit, and then I'm going to add the lemon juice. Oops. This is really so easy because you just throw everything in the food processor. So namashoyu. You're probably saying, what's namashoyu? Namashoyu is a different substance made than, it's like a soy sauce, but it's unpasteurized. It hasn't been boiled or heated. So namashoyu is used a lot in raw food because it's not pasteurized, which means it hasn't been heated, therefore it is live or raw, so to speak. And now we're going to put some olive oil in. Oops, 2 more ingredients. We have tahini. And I'm going to get some tasting spoons here and some mixing spoons, a couple of tasting spoons, because I definitely want to taste this. Put this on. Oh, wait, on. I'll tell you that raw food hummus is definitely a little bit different tasting than the traditional hummus you get. But the traditional hummus has the cooked chickpeas. They have a slightly different flavor. All right, that's looking good. Think we should taste it now? I do. Turn it off here. Give it a quick taste. Boy, that's very lemony, very garlicky. Pretty awesome, actually. Guys getting hungry? Bet you're out there wondering, oh, I wonder what that tastes like. Very lemony. It's got a ton of flavor. It's absolutely actually delicious. I'm just going to blend this just a little bit longer and get it really, really creamy, because the difference with, I'm just going to stop it for a second, the difference with the raw food hummus is that it has a little bit coarser because, of course, those beans haven't been cooked, and when they've been cooked, they're a lot softer. So I'm just going to let this run a little bit, and we're going to get ready to serve a nice presentation with hummus. I think it's blended enough. It's really smooth. And wow, is it good. And look what we did. This is the fun of filmmaking. Look at the magic here. You're going to have so much fun with this presentation. Is everything raw? It is. Is everything live? Yes. And is this an incredible live dish? Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? And look how simple that was. Now, I know we did a lot of work before you came, and we measured and cut everything. But you know what? It was just a few ingredients, and it really went very fast. I'm going to get a spoon here to serve this out with. I'm going to bring this bowl up here. Boy, this is beautiful. I think I hear a jingle out there. Is that the dog? Yeah, we had some friends stop by because everybody wants to eat this good food. It's, you know, it's going around the neighborhood that we're making a lot of good raw food. It's very popular here on Maui. We have 3 different stores that you can go into and get raw food already made. And now I tell you, that is a real treat because, you know, when you're hungry and you're out there and you can go get a raw food taco, I mean, isn't that incredible to be able to do? Or some great energy soups where you're just blended vegetables and carrots and seed cheeses and crackers and raw food hummus, just like this. I love the color of this. Now, that was because of the parsley, and of course that's optional. But that looks great. Alrighty, we're going to serve this just like this. Oh, I think I'm going to garnish it first because I might get it on the table. So a little bit of parsley. Yum, yum. There you go. There is a beautiful dinner. If you were having to put some salad greens out and maybe use one of the dressings we used, you would have a complete meal. And it's full of protein. I'll tell you one thing about chickpeas and lentils. They have ingredients in them, I mean nutrients, some of your minerals and potassiums and magnesiums that you just don't get in other foods. And so it's really good to eat as many of them as you can. Chickpeas, lentils, their legumes are very, very healthy. The other thing is with raw food, you can never overeat. I guarantee you would. People get full very, very fast. So it's not habitual forming like many of our junk foods. So enjoy getting full and satisfied and completely having a great sensual experience all at once. Aloha and welcome back. You know, we had planned that we were going to make a few more dishes and then we were going to have a big wine feast and a big feast and pair all the wines with the different foods. But you know, it'd be a little overwhelming and a lot at once. Besides that, we're really thirsty and we want to dig in and enjoy this food. Those of us that are all working to make this whole presentation come to you. So what I want to tell you is about these organic wines. Remember when I mentioned earlier about organically grown grapes and organic wines? Don't you love that sound? Well, these are all wines that are made with organically grown grapes. And they came to us from Organic Vintners. Now, Organic Vintners is a distributor of wines from all over the world made with organically grown grapes. What we have here is a wine from Nuevo Mundo. It's from Chile. And this is a Sauvignon Blanc. It has a wonderful nose of honeydew melon and herbs and fresh cut grass and rich tropical flavors. And this is the one we're going to drink and pour tonight. And just to complement this meal, I think really well also, is a Chardonnay, a popular wine with many people. But I want to tell you, these wines are outstanding. If you were to read, not too long ago, the Wall Street Journal, the food critic there did a wonderful display of a tasting of all the different wines, and actually Organic Vintners organic wines were rated in, I think, several of the top 15 that they picked, I think something like 11. Anyway, enough to make these wines very worth their while, and they're very affordable. All of their wines are close to under $20. This particular Chardonnay has a lemon cream kind of flavor with a zesty grapefruit, and it's very food friendly. And as you can see, we've got a lot of friendly food here, and that's why we're going to pair both of these wines with these foods. And don't be afraid to explore. When we make some Italian dishes later on, we're going to start opening some red wines. We're going to use some Malbec from Italy, and we're going to be using some Pinot Noir from another country. And you'll have this exploration and travel extravaganza with us with all this great cuisine. So we're going to go ahead and pour this wine. And I highly recommend that you visit Organic Vintners, that's V-I-N-T-N-E-R-S, organicvintners.com, and just take a trip around the world on their website with all these great wines. Because remember what I said about wine, you are actually tasting the soil of that country. And imagine that you would be tasting a wine that has all organically grown grapes. So the soil is at its peak of integrity, the way that the earth made it to be. All right, enjoy. Now, I want to know, what do you guys really think of this food?
It's
Mary?
Delicious. Divine. Super good.
Chan?
It's very outstanding.
Yeah?
I'm always pleasantly surprised with what you cook.
I am very pleasantly surprised as well.
Yeah? What do you, oh, Landon, you
Never
guys still
had
taste
whole
it?
food like
Yeah, I
this.
still gotta taste it.
Carol, is this your plate?
Looks
But it's
amazing.
almond soup. Is this all raw?
What's that?
This is all raw.
It's all raw.
Raw.
All,
Rah, rah, rah,
all
as Paul would
raw.
say.
Try something.
Con mi palanca de amor siempre inclinado por el varón pudo enlazar su corazón besar hasta saciar mi sed de amor.
Aloha, and welcome to our Italian feast. We're going to have Italian raw food pizza. I know that might sound like, what could that possibly be? But I'm going to show you. Remember the pizza dough we already made? Well, we have these in a dish right here in the back. They've already dehydrated, took about them overnight, and they're all ready, waiting. We're going to make an Italian red sauce, all fresh ingredients, all raw, and then we're going to make a macadamia nut pine nut cheese to top it off with, and then we have lots of garnish here. All Italian flavors, tomatoes and scallions and basil and red peppers and lots of fun ingredients that we're going to put in it, including some red wine. We have this from Organic Vintners. It's an Italian Rosso. It's from northern Italy, and it's a blend of Corvina and lots of other flavors. But it's a very good medium to light dry wine, and it's got a gorgeous ruby red color, and I think it's going to be really fun to put inside the sauce as well as drink. So let's see, I'll get going. We're going to start with the sauce, and the reason we're going to start with the topping sauce. This sauce, you want to serve it right when you make it because it's so fresh and so yummy. Even though it will keep in the fridge for a while, for 2 to 3 days, you're going to want to serve it fresh, and it's going to thicken a little bit after we make it. So let's get started.
Hey, how's that pie coming along?
Hey, Landon, how you doing?
Good, how are you?
Excuse me. Good. You want to help?
Yeah.
You're into it?
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Awesome.
All right. You can see I've got everything already ready. So you can maybe read the recipe to me.
Okay.
We're going to start. I want to tell you too, first of all, you know where I got this recipe. This is adapted from the book Raw, and that's Giuliano. And Giuliano is very well known in the raw food culinary artistry. His recipes are vibrant. I mean, they're my favorites. I think the challenge for some people is that Giuliano uses so many ingredients, and we're going to use a lot here too. And not even all of what he calls for in some of his recipes, but this is my adaptation that I get the same flavors and I don't have to use quite so many recipes. You ready?
Yes.
Okay, we're going to start with the topping.
Okay.
Alrighty? So we're going to use the Vitamix. What's first?
1 cup of macadamia nuts.
Okay, we got a cup of mac nuts here. Pine nuts?
Yep.
Okay.
1 cup. Half a cup of lemon juice.
Okay, lemon juice. Already squeezed.
1/3 cup nama shoyu.
Okay, we've got that measured. We've used nama shoyu quite a few times. I'm sure you remember what it is. It's like the salty, raw soy sauce.
1 tablespoon garlic.
Tablespoon of garlic. You know what? I'm just going to put the whole garlic clove in.
And 1/2 tablespoon, or teaspoon, sorry, peppercorns.
Peppercorns. These were freshly ground just a little while ago, fresh peppercorns. Is that it?
Yes. And maybe some Celtic sea salt.
Okay, well, let's wait and taste it.
Okay.
Let's see, we have the nama shoyu. That's pretty salty, so let's just give it a whirl first. I think we're going to probably need this.
Pop that down a little bit more right there.
Okay,
There you go.
thank you. Landon's an aspiring actor. Aspiring, he is an actor. That's going to be great. He's a stage performer, actually, in a junior guard. Very proud of him. He's one of my favorite nephews. And he is becoming a chef. He's been learning a lot about cooking, has a great interest in it, and he's got some of his own recipes. All right, I'm going to scoop some of this out just to show it to you. Put this towel right here. You can see that in there. It's very, very stiff. I'm going to scoop it right in here. That was we can't double dip, right?
Right.
No double dipping.
Not at all.
Feel free to experiment. Remember, this is, it always changes. You might have the juice of a couple lemons, but it might really make a difference on how big the lemons are. But this is what goes kind of in place of your cheese for pizza. This is our cheese sauce. Now we need to clean this all out because now we're going to make the marinara sauce. So I'm going to clean this up, finish chopping my oregano. And this is fresh oregano, fresh basil, fresh everything. And Landon, we're going to clean this up, and then we're going to make the red sauce in the same Vitamix. You like this knife? Look at the way this thing works.
I know, it's crazy. I still don't have permission to use it though.
That's because I love it so much. God, it's just awesome. You know the rock and roll motion we were working with?
Yeah.
Oh, that's great. It's just like, because of the way that it's shaped, this S shape,
Yeah.
it's just like so great.
Rocks really easy.
Yeah.
What are you cutting it now?
I'm cutting oregano.
Oh.
Yeah. Now the recipe calls for oregano. Whoa, the wind's blowing. Let's get it in here, okay, hon?
Okay.
So we need like,
Do you want me to pick it up?
yeah, go ahead. We'll both do it. We need like 1/3 of a cup. Is that going to be enough? I think it's just going to be enough.
Yeah. Something like that.
Right? 1/3 of a cup? Okay,
1/4,
we're back.
Actually.
We're
1/4.
back. Hi. Aloha. I'm here with Landon. You saw us just make the cheese topping, the pine nut cheese topping, and the macadamia nuts. We got a nice little wind blowing today.
I know,
Thank
it's just
God. Yeah, and so
Kitchen
now
gets hot.
we're going to, I think we need a little more oregano. I'm going to grab
little
some
more?
right here.
All right. The recipe only calls for 1/4 cup. So you know.
Right, but isn't this a 1/4 cup?
I don't know.
So we already de-stemmed this, and this is fresh oregano, and I'll tell you, you can use dried herbs too, but you're going to want it. Let's see, I got my hair in my eyes. You're going to want it, you're going to want to use fresh herbs because that's what makes this thing so vibrant. It's really good. Let's get a little bit of my hair here. It just keeps coming back. That's okay, we'll clip it back in a while. All right, we're just going to chop a little bit more of this. It's already been cleaned. We're going to take these little dark ones out. And this food processor, this Vitamixer, I mean, works so well that it's going to take care of all the blending of this anyway. But I don't mind if we have a few crunchy pieces. You know when you get dried herbs, how they're in small little pieces, and sometimes they're ground really fine. But the finer you have them ground, then the more they're going to lose their flavor. So they're going to grind in here, but we don't want them so ground. We want to get a burst of oregano and a burst of basil. I mean, that's really good. What's going to make it good, as long as you don't have like big, huge surprises, like a big chunk of garlic or something like that. But I wanted to use enough of this because the oregano is really important. You know, one time I made the dough, the pizza crust. Oh, and we got the little crackers right out here, or the pizza crust. Remember we made them into small little circles and then the kids finished them? And I like to do them like that because then you can hold them in your hand. Otherwise it's just too messy, because this is a meal that once you sit down, you know, you're kind of committed to it. There's no getting up, talking, and using your hands some more. But anyway, one time I made it, and it called for some oregano, and I decided to use essential oils, and I actually put in I put it in a couple of drops of pure essential oregano. And the whole place smelled like oregano. It was just wonderful. And it was really good. It was a little strong on the oregano, but it was fun to experiment. All right, so where are we? We'll use some of this for garnish later.
Marinara sauce right
So
now.
let's get started.
1/2 cup pineapple.
Okay, we're going to start with a 1/2 cup of pineapple. This is
Yes.
dried pineapple. We didn't dry it in the dehydrator, but it's dried pineapple. And we just chopped it up. You could use fresh pineapple too. But there's something about this dried pineapple that I think adds some extra sweetness.
Pineapple is naturally sweet.
Yes. Okay. I stuck my dishes
yeah.
over here. Okay.
2 cups of chopped tomatoes.
Already chopped. You can see that this would be sort of more of a time-consuming recipe, just because there's a lot of chopping and a lot of variation. I remember the first time I shopped for it, I was like, oh my gosh, this is a lot of ingredients. But we used them for lots of other things.
Minced ginger, but I'm not sure what that looks like.
Okay, this is it right here.
Awesome.
You can always smell it. What's it smell like?
Ginger.
There you go. And the sooner you use these after you chop them, the better. That's what's wonderful about this.
Okay, we got minced garlic.
Okay, so we didn't mince the garlic. We just have a chop of it, 1 head. But it does call for some scallions. No, some shallots.
Shallots,
Right?
yeah.
Okay, let's put those in. What's next?
Minced jalapeno.
How much?
1 tablespoon. Or
Jalapenos.
teaspoon, sorry.
This is a great food to use with raw food, because what happens with jalapenos is gives it its heat.
Spicy.
And if you want to, you know, raw food can be not hot enough. It needs some heat sometimes. So jalapenos are great, peppers, cayenne, things like that.
Some basil leaves.
Okay, these have been just freshly chopped. We got some great basil today on the island. I have to constantly remember that I'm living on an island because I don't always get what I want. Everybody might get to the store ahead of me and maybe the boats don't come in. So it's really nice to grow our fresh herbs here too.
1/4 cup of red
pepper.
Yes.
Now just imagine, look at all these colors and look at all these different flavors, how these are going to fuse together.
It's gonna be so vibrant.
Sun-dried tomatoes.
Yes.
Now these are sun-dried tomatoes. I know they don't look like it, but we soaked them in some olive oil. So they're kind of dark. Very yummy. So we've got fresh tomatoes, sun-dried tomatoes.
And some oregano.
Oregano we just chopped.
1/4 cup.
Oh gosh, this is going to be so good.
And we got the namashoyu.
Okay, so we're going to be a little easy on the namashoyu because I don't want it to taste like namashoyu. I'd rather give it a little bit of salt, so I'm just going to use a little bit. And if we want to use more, we can. And we can always salt it. I'm going to put a little bit of this Flower of the Ocean, remember my favorite salt? Just a little bit in there.
Olive oil.
Okay, what's it called for? Is it a whole cup?
Yes, 1 cup.
Okay, here we go. Now, in Giuliano's recipe, he actually uses strawberries, and I remembered that we had some strawberries from the frozen desserts that we did, so I'm just going to put 2 of them in here and see how it tastes, but that'll give it another dimension too.
You need 1/4 cup red wine.
Okay, now we're talking. See some of this red wine. This is a 1/4 cup. There we go.
Yummy.
No red wine for you. I think it's there won't be enough of this. Look at the colors in that. Can you see that in there in the camera? Isn't that beautiful?
So vibrant.
Isn't that beautiful? Look at those different colors. It's one of my favorite meals. All right, I'm going to start this out slow. I don't want to blend this, but I don't want to I don't want to puree it really. But that's what's going to happen.
This Vitamixer is great though.
It's fun to use, huh? And a 2 horsepower motor. Okay, let's give this a taste before we let it get going too much more. You know, it might have been a good idea if we would have put that garlic in first. Now it's a little on the runnier side. Want to taste that? Mm-hmm. Then I would like it to be.
That's good.
Now, Landon, do you think your friends would like this?
They would love it.
Yeah?
After surfing, when you need to replenish all that stuff that you lost, this would be a great snack.
Snack? This is like a dinner.
Dinner, meal, whatever you want to use it for. Personally, I'd use it as a snack because I eat a lot. So,
Yeah? What do you think?
It's great. I love it.
Now it's perfect. Oh my gosh, that's so good. Okay, let's assemble some. You guys just wish you were here so much. I guarantee you should try this. You can, because it takes a lot of steps, you can make these ahead of time. Make your pizzas, crusts ahead of time. Let's just put like about, let's put this big one here. And let's turn this one over. I kind of like it like that.
Yeah.
Because then it holds it. Okay, maybe like that. Yeah, you can make it ahead of time, and then you can just make the sauce, and just pay attention to when you have ingredients in your fridge, and if you need to dry them and you have a dehydrator, you can do that. But you know, it's all not all that many. All right, let's give it a shot. You want to get a shot of this? That beautiful sauce? Okay.
Should I get a knife out to spread, or is it just going to be nice and thick?
I think it's just going to do that. Yeah, it's going to do. See how that's just getting nice and thicker? Remember how watery it was in the beginning?
So it's straight out of the
Now you
blender.
know, if you've cooked it all, that things like this, we're not going to put, that one I put a little too much on. Whoops. Things like this, whoopsie. They get better and better and better as they sit. All right.
And what would you like to do with this cheese sauce? Been curious
Well,
about that.
Yeah. I'm a little concerned that it's a little stiff. And I think that if we put it on there, it might get kind of gooey. So I think I'm going to, I think I'm going to put it in a bowl, and I'm going to put a little olive oil in it, and I'm just going to give it a little bit better consistency. I got a bowl right down here.
Got your olive oil right here.
Here's a bowl and some olive oil. We're going to dump it in here. Wait. Let me put that in afterwards. Okay. It's pretty good, but I'm just going to give it a teeny bit more. There's another thing I've learned from Giuliano. You can never use too much olive oil. Olive oil is wonderful, and we are making an Italian meal. So I'm just going to give it a little bit. And we'll want to swirl some on top when you serve it. What do you think?
Yeah, it's loosening up a little bit.
Yeah. So we'll just do like,
A dollop.
okay, you're next. This is going to spread it out. Okay, you want to try one?
Yeah.
I think you'll need to use your finger and just put it right like that, but it's going to spread the sauce out. There we go, pine nut cheese, raw food, pine nut cheese, coming at you. All right, put a little bit more on this one. Whatever we do, you know, you just can't make a mistake here because it's just beautiful no matter what, because fresh food from the earth, when it's in all its colors and aromas,
There's nothing like it.
you just can't go wrong. It's just so beautiful. Now we can have fun garnishing it. That's awesome. You need to wipe your hands, hon?
Yes, please. Thank you.
Okay, there we go. We're going to get some lettuce, and we're going to make this on a really beautiful presentation, but right now, just to show you some variations, we'll just sprinkle some onions. Go ahead. You want to sprinkle some tomatoes?
Sure.
These are raw scallions. Everybody's so hungry here, our whole crew. They've been waiting for raw food pizza. All right, let's put some of them.
Especially that pie that's going to come out.
I know.
Looking forward to that.
That's later on this evening. We'll have it for dessert. We can put some parsley on the plate. Oh, it's just getting better and better. How about a pepper in the middle with some more basil to dress it? You're going to love serving this to your friends. I'm not kidding you. You will have a silent dinner party because no one will talk. They'll all be eating it and going, oh my God.
That's the
because
best, though.
It is really that amazing. Let's put that down like that. Isn't that pretty? And some tomatoes.
Yeah, this green one right over there.
Yeah, perfect. And here we got some hot peppers.
Ooh,
Want
yum.
to take a few?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. And let's sprinkle those on top. Not too many, but these have all the seeds been taken out. Make sure when you cut these peppers that you take the seeds out and then you wash your hands because it's the seeds that are very hot. What do you think?
Looks pretty awesome.
Let's put this right here. Like
Can't
that.
wait to dig in.
I know. And if you've got a nice bottle of red wine to serve your guests, this Northern Italian blend would absolutely be fabulous, but not for the kids, but for the adults. Let's put a little parsley right on there. Like that. Isn't that beautiful? Bon appetit, huh?
Beautiful dish, and it tastes great also.
Yeah. Isn't that great? Oh, I can't wait to eat it. Try it. You'll definitely love it. It is so worth all the effort it takes.
The sauce is so good.
I thought it'd be a lot sweeter. I like it. It's so good.
You thought it'd be sweeter?
Yeah, the wine
Oh,
fruit, yeah.
with the fruit?
Yummo!
What do you think there, honey?
It's good.
Okay, scale of 1 to 10.
11.
11, yep.
I love that. I love that it's an 11. Can't get better than 11 when it's on a scale of 1 to 10.
12.
12! Yeah, I guess you can get better. Hi, I'm Susan Campbell, author of Essential Cuisine. I want to thank all of the companies that contributed to this project for the products that they make of outstanding quality and integrity and absolutely great taste. I use them in this series because I use them all personally, and I have found that they are worthy of education. They in no way participated in the funding of the series. They were all here by invitation only. And I also want to thank all of the wonderful people who contributed. It was out of their enthusiasm and appreciation for the message that they joined in to make this series come to you. Enjoy. Welcome. This is going to be a real big treat for you, I promise you. And I wonder how many of you think that these are the only vegetables in the world, or these are the only vegetables in the world. I'm going to introduce to you another whole world under the sea, and those are sea vegetables. Sea vegetables are a big part of any raw food diet, and particularly before I was even eating a lot of raw food, I was eating a lot of sea vegetables, but that's because I had some wonderful nutritionists and great chefs introduce me to them. You know what kelp is. You've probably seen seaweed and nori rolls that we do our sushi rolls in. That's what I'm talking about, sea vegetables. But that's only the beginning of sea vegetables. Many of the macrobiotic diets have a lot of sea vegetables in their soups and things. But I'm going to show you just a couple of ways to enjoy sea vegetables very simply. Now, one of them, I'm going to walk off camera just 1 second. And I am going to show you this big bag of dulse. And oh my gosh, you should smell this. This is a huge 5-pound bag of dulse. And the reason I eat dulse a lot, and the reason I'm going to show it to you, is because most people don't know about dulse. They know about nori rolls, and they know about some of the seaweeds that are put into soups, or if you go into a Japanese restaurant, those little black little things floating around. But dulse is so easy to use and so easy to travel with. And the reason I have this big bag is because this is the way I order it from Maine Seacoast Vegetables. And what they do at Maine Seacoast Vegetables is they actually grow and harvest sea vegetables. So you thought that only the farmers were on top of the land. Well, there's farmers under the sea as well. And look at this dulse. This is just incredible seaweed. Just beautiful, beautiful seaweed. It smells like seaweed, and if you were to eat it right now, it's very, very salty and it's very chewy and full of minerals. I mean, you talk about sea salt and the minerals on sea salt. You can't believe the the minerals that you can get out of this vegetable. These are fabulous. I carry them when I travel with me because it is such an excellent food source. And it's so easy to travel with. It won't spoil, it won't rot, it weighs like nothing. So you can, that was 5 pounds and that was a huge bag. So you can just carry it with you and put it in a dish like this. I took a nice handful, I put it in this bowl, I covered it with water, and you just let it sit in water for not even 5 minutes. It doesn't take long at all. And then you just can wring it out and eat it. I'm going to show you the most simple way to make it. It's been soaking for a little longer than 5 minutes because it takes us a while to get all set up. But I'm just going to take my hands in here, and I'm going to take a nice big dollop of it, and I'm just going to wring it out. Now here's the deal. If you do this twice, let's say I wrung it out like this, but I wanted to rinse it some more because I've kind of tried this, you'll lose all the salt. If you eat it plain, it's a little too salty, for me anyway. But what a great food if you're backpacking and you need to replenish some of your electrolytes. That salt is what you need in your body, and you can just chew on it while you're backpacking, hiking. Maybe you're working hard in the afternoon. Maybe you're an athlete like Landon, you know, he does junior guards. You take a little bit of that dulse out and chomp on it, and he'll just be replenished in 2 seconds. It's lighter in his backpack. He doesn't have to buy artificial colored drinks that have electrolytes in them. And he's getting great minerals at the same time that are fresh from the Earth's sea, which is just bountiful. Now, it kind of sticks to your hands. And let me tell you something too. It sticks to your teeth sort of too. I mean, it doesn't stick, but you kind of want to check a mirror if you're eating it with your significant other or anybody else, because it just, you know, kind of stays around. I always kind of swish afterwards. Okay, and I've got a towel right here. Oh no, my towel's right here. So I'm just going to do that, put it right on the dish. Now, quite frankly, I'm real happy with it just like that. You could pour some olive oil on it. You could pour maybe some flax oil, although flax is kind of fishy. I love it with sliced avocado. Now, this particular avocado has a little couple of brown spots on it, but you know, we're not going to let that stop us. I'm just going to just scoop it out like this. I already cut it in half. And you know what? I'm going to make an energy soup too. I'm going to cut this avocado open just as well because we're going to blend one. And I'm going to see if maybe this one looks a little bit better. These knives, these Kamachi knives, how fun they are. They are so light. There we go. Yeah, this one's just a little prettier. Isn't that nice? Oh, that just looks beautiful on that plate, just like that. This colors and this live food is too beautiful. So I'm just going to scoop this out. This is a refreshing afternoon snack, a refreshing lunch. And another thing you can travel with. How easy it is to take an avocado because it's already peeled. And I'm just going to, I'll just use the same knife here. And we'll just make some nice little slivers. And I'm just going to spread it on the plate just like this. And maybe sprinkle a little sea salt. You could have a little sliced tomato with it. And we're just going to pile that up nice like that. Now here's the key. When we get to our oil segment, when I get you into some of the great oils that are made on this earth, we're going to really have a lot of fun. This is Austria's finest pumpkin seed oil. This is from roasted pumpkin seeds, so they're not raw. However, you can get raw pumpkin seed oil. This roasted pumpkin seed oil is out of this world. It is a dark, dark, creamy, beautiful texture like a roast. I'm going to pour just a little bit on my hand for you to see how dark that is. Isn't that beautiful? It's just absolutely luscious. You can take this on steamed spinach and it will just transpose it into something that is gourmet. People will go, oh my God, where did you get this? On top of dulse, it's fabulous. And it just is delicious. And I just pour a little bit like that. You don't really see it, but we can put a little around the dish just for the fun of it. Oh, it leaked way in. And maybe sprinkle a little tomato on it. I'm still going to put a little sea salt on my avocado, even though this is more on the saltier side. And maybe garnish it with a few of our sunflower sprouts. And a little cabbage maybe. And you just have a quick little lunch. Where's my salt? My sea salt. Flower of the ocean. Let's just stick with the ocean, shall we? Yeah. And you just have a quick lunch. And that's how easy it is to eat dulse. We're going to set this down, and now we're going to get some nori rolls out, and we're going to make some rolls. Okay, so let's do some wrapping.
Sounds great.
We practiced because we wanted to make sure that we had a good feeling for the nori, because a lot of people like to toast them first. But what we're going to do is we just dip our hands in a little bit of oil, a little olive oil, and we kind of coat the piece of seaweed, the piece of nori like this. You can see it's kind of shiny because Landon coated his. And then we're just going to start wrapping. Now here's what we have out here. We have avocado. We have sprouts. Remember the lentils that we sprouted in another segment? Well, that's what they're really good for. Besides sprinkling on a salad, you can roll them up in a nori roll. Here's the mung beans that we did the same thing to. Remember those? Mm-hmm. We sprouted those. Now we can make like a sandwich out of them.
It's great.
And Landon's actually going to be making some sandwiches and using some of these fun vegetables in there too. Some sliced carrots,
Yummy.
some cabbage, and then we've got some dulse flakes. Here's some dulse flakes that have just been all ground up and powdered. These are great on top of soups, sandwiches, all kinds of things. Here we got some tahini and nut butter, some chopped tomatoes, some walnuts, some cashews. Cashews are great on these. And if you're into eating eggs at all, hard-boiled eggs are great on these nori rolls.
Or tofu.
Or tofu, right. Here's some sliced tofu. And we've got some Bragg's liquid aminos, which is an all-vegetable, whoopsie. These little spray containers are fabulous. You just spray a little bit because a little bit of Bragg's liquid aminos goes a long way. It's a full vegetable seasoning. Kind of like tamari, but it has a completely different flavor all its own. Okay, this is a skinny one we already wrapped. All right, you go ahead and start whatever you want. Honey, there's some of this too. This is the Luscious Seed Spread. It's a combination of 3 different seeds, sesame, macadamia nut, and I think almond. Oh, wait a second. Remember the almond cheese we made that we hung in the bag? Remember that?
Yeah.
Okay, it's ready. It hung all night. It's very moist still on the bottom. You want to touch that?
Ooh, yeah.
It's very moist, but on the top it's kind of dried out because that's what happens. It just pulls down. So this is what you want to do. You want to open this bag. Whoops. And, oh, the bag's got a little knot in it. Okay, that's going to come out nice and easy. And we're going to dish out some of this seed cheese. Now it's a little yellow on the top. I'm just going to scrape that yellow part off and put it right over here. And then I'm going to show you this. Can you see this on camera? Yeah? You can see right in there the seed cheese that just made itself. We didn't do anything but hang it in a bag after we blended those almonds. And this is the raw food version of cheese. I wish you could hear that. It just made this most beautiful sound like cottage cheese or something. Let's put this out. Can you smell that?
Yeah.
Yeah, it smells slightly fermented, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, but it doesn't stink.
Mm-mm.
It
Not at all.
just kind of has its own unique flavor. Now this would be great because it's simply almonds. Want to take a taste?
Yeah, sure. Should I get a spoon out or
You can
use
just
that
take a
one?
little chunk from it. There you go.
Thank you. That's really good.
You like it?
Mm-hmm.
You can taste it too.
It
Oh
does
my
have
God.
its own taste to it, though.
Oh
yeah.
my gosh, that's just awesome. So we can use this seed cheese, on these nori rolls. So go ahead, hon, you just make up what you want here.
Sounds great.
And this is another great thing to do. Remember how they used to have fondue parties? Well, we could have nori wrap parties. And you can do it with your kids, you can do it with your whole family, put out everybody's favorite things.
It's a lot of fun.
Now, sometimes I like to pour an oil on it afterwards. They get a little oily, to handle. But what happens is that the nori gets real soft, and it's actually a lot easier to chew. It may not look as good, but it tastes amazing. What are you using? Are you using the Luscious Spread?
Yeah. I'm going to go ahead, add some avocados. A few of those.
Okay, I'm going to have avocado too. And
What else we got here?
I'm going to do some sprouts.
Yeah.
And remember, we have salt. This is, we have a towel right here. We're going to knead it off, and this is a hands-on job. Okay. I bet none of your friends eat like this, do they, Landon?
No. They have all that artificial stuff.
Now, see, Landon is really interested in cooking because he has a sensitivity. Okay, I've got sprouts, and then carrots. You have a sensitivity to what?
Dyes.
Yeah.
And food additives.
Uh-huh.
Red dye number 40.
Uh-huh.
Not good for me at all. I get really ADD, can't concentrate. So I kind of took that out of my diet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if your children are sensitive to those kind of things, and I'll tell you, many of them are and they don't know it. But if you start to track your children after they have a meal that might have a lot of food dyes or additives in it, you might notice that there's quite a bit of change in their behavior. Or what I might say is take them off of them completely and then really notice a radical difference. Now, Landon, do you notice a difference when you accidentally eat some of those?
Yeah, I start getting really fidgety. I can't concentrate at all. Like if I eat them during school, at lunch, I have a hard time concentrating in my last periods of the day. And that's normally my most important periods.
Okay, I just squirted a little Bragg's.
I'll borrow that too. Brags.
I want more. I want some more color. I'll tell you one of my favorite things to do in this, I don't care what's in it, is I love cashews on it because I get this really cool crunch. I always get them too big too. Oh, look at Landon's. This is like controllable. Mine's like out of control. Look how big it is. It's going to be so good with this almond cheese. This is so full of protein, nice and crunchy. It rolls up really nicely. And I used to be so decadent, I would pour olive oil all over the top of them. Okay, we're going to put these here. We're going to cut them when we get all done. Okay, I'm going to do another one. I'm just going to cut these in half because I think they're easier when they're the size that you can. Let me take this one up here. That you can hold them. You know, in sushi restaurants, for me, a piece of sushi is just a little bit too big, and I always want to eat like half of it. I have to put that great big thing in my mouth. So I like bite-sized things. Now let me tell you something too. These, if we were to take a bite of these right now, you have to pull it. If you let the oil sit on it for a while, it's going to soften that nori, and then it's much easier to eat. How you doing on that last one?
Pretty good. Getting it all wrapped up here. They're fun to build. I like them.
Okay, I'm going to put this down here and move this whole tray, and then we're going to garnish it. And now we can make our tray pretty.
Can I cut one more?
For who's ever coming over. Yeah, you want the knife?
Yes, please.
Here we go. Just cut that. It looks like you could fatten those up a little bit.
Yeah.
But if those are the way you like them, you have to do your own creation. You know what would be good in this too is, oh, I forgot tofu. I didn't use tofu on mine, did you?
Oh no.
Okay, well, maybe I'll put some in one of these. Right here. Tofu's nice, good source of high protein. All right, let's garnish with some parsley. You know, you can just get so creative and just have fun with whatever you do. Now this seed cheese, we'll put it in an airtight container. We'll put it in the refrigerator, and it lasts several days. And you can do a lot of things with it. You can put a lot of herbs on it and make it however you like. What do you think?
Looks
Look
great.
what you made. Yeah, see, was that simple?
Yeah.
All you had to do is chop everything and put it all together. I'm going to make you a soup now. I want to talk a little bit about this soup because, first of all, I'm going to dump this avocado in there. I've already got some of the other avocado we just used from the wraps. But at the Optimum Health Institute in San Diego, and Ann Wigmore's Institute in Puerto Rico. Ann Wigmore is no longer with us. She died several years ago, but she founded the Hippocrates Health Institute, and I spent a month there in Puerto Rico several years ago. But what I learned from Ann Wigmore and her main piece of food at the Optimum Health Institute was her energy soup. Now this isn't going to be exactly like her energy soup, or maybe the Optimum Health Institute's, but it's an adaptation, and you can even make more of one. Basically what they usually make it with is the beverage that they put in the soup is made out of Rejuvelac that we made earlier. Remember I showed you with the wheat berries that fermented in the glass where we had the cheesecloth on the top? Well, we were going to make it with Rejuvelac, but we let our Rejuvelac sit too long, and it's very hot here, and it got just a little questionable. So we decided we didn't want to use it. And often at times, I might not have Rejuvelac at home, and so I don't use Rejuvelac, and so I've kind of cut corners. And I often want to feed it to people that maybe aren't used to don't have a palate for, it's not that it's plain, but it's not the same taste that most people are used to. So I often will make it with carrot juice. But today, instead of using carrot juice, I'm just going to use some carrots because we have this great machine that can do that. I probably don't need to cut these up, but I just have so much fun with my Kinnan and Shun knife that I'm going to just go ahead and give them a quick cut. So what the soup is basically something that's very, very green, very digestible, and people that go to these cleansing places where they're wanting to cleanse their body and nourish their body will just kind of live on this soup. It's got, I don't think that they actually put carrots in theirs, but I like to because they're really sweet. You could put tomatoes too. But we're going to put the avocado for a good fat and for something that will give it a creaminess. We're going to put in a lot of apple to give it some sweetness and the high fiber and the cleansing ability of an apple. We're going to put some dulse seaweed in it that you just learned about. I've had it soaking. And then we're going to put some sunflower sprouts. Sunflower sprouts are what they use abundantly. They grow them there at the Health Institute. Fortunately, we can get them here and they last a pretty long time, like about 5 days in the fridge. I've even had them last much longer. These are so hardy and such a good food source because they actually grow in a very nourishing soil. So we are just going to dump all of these in here. I'm going to put a little bit of water in it to give it a little, a little liquid because we don't have the Rejuvelac. We could actually maybe use some of the dulse water, but I think it might be a little salty. But here's what I've done many times, and this is the reason I'm explaining all this, is I want you to think about when you have extra vegetables in your fridge and you got a little piece of zucchini or a little piece of broccoli or cauliflower, throw them in. Just blend up a soup. If you don't have an avocado, maybe you can add a little olive oil or a little flax oil. If you don't have an apple, you might want to make a tomato base. But basically what I'm saying is you can just throw vegetables in here and make a soup. And even the Vitamix, it comes with a lot of recipes for great vegetable soups, and it's really a matter of throwing vegetables in there. That's really all this is. It's just throwing a bunch of vegetables in there. I'm going to put a big handful of that, of the dulse. You notice I didn't wring it out real tight because I'd like the juice in there. Stuff is very sticky. And let's get some apple. Now, I remember when I was first making mine, I would really want a lot of apple. I'm going to put the skins in there too. Lots of apple. A little bit of water, and then I'm going to put my sprouts in. This machine is so incredible. I have to tell you, if you're going to have one, this is probably it. A food processor is really great too, but this machine is like hands down the #1 priority for making foods like this because you can actually do everything in it. It's like a jet. It's like a jet. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and put all these sunflower seeds in. What do you think? You know, I really want to hand it to you for watching this video. And I think that it's a great step in your life. And, you know, I realize that there's a lot of things in here that would be overwhelming at first. But the idea is to give you a lot of different methods. I'm trying to show you as many different varieties of new foods to incorporate in your life and maybe easy ways to put them in your life. Now, this is really pretty easy if you've just got vegetables and a couple of apples. Throw it in here and blend it. If you don't have a Vitamix, don't let that stop you because your blender will probably do it. I'm going to taste it because I might want to add some lemon. You can put some cayenne in it, any kind of seasonings. I'm going to go ahead and use this spoon that I used for the avocado. Wow, I can really taste those sunflower sprouts. You know, it's actually really pretty nice. A couple more apples will make it a little sweeter. And I think I'm just going to give it a squeeze of lemon. I'm going to put these apples in it first, though, and then taste it. I remember that when we used to make a big mixer full, we would actually use 2 apples. Alrighty, I think that's good. It's a very unique color. It kind of, usually it's pretty green. Now the reason it's not really green is because, we'll see if that stays, is because we use the carrots. And we have quite a combination of things. I'm going to get a little bowl here. And I'm going to use this clear bowl so you can really see this. It's very, very thick. This is really a whole meal. I know it may not look that appetizing, but I want to tell you, it's yummy for you, and it's really good. It's really very tasty. It's quite sweet. We can, let's see how we're going to garnish this. We have a few little carrots I'm going to put around. Give it a little color, because you might serve it to somebody and they'll go, oh my gosh, what is that? Now, another thing you can do, it's really wonderful to dollop it with a nice big scoop of this almond cream cheese. Hey, it's not cream cheese, but almond cheese. Landon, he is very dairy sensitive too. He can't eat dairy. He's not been able to eat dairy for years. And these are the kind of cheeses that he can eat. He was telling us after we did that segment that, wow, this is really great because now he can enjoy that substance of cheese. And I remember when I was doing a cleanse, and I was at the Ann Wigmore Institute, and she brought out the seed cheese. I was so excited because it was like food. And not to mention that it's absolutely delicious. So we can take some of these. Let's take a mint leaf. And if you want to, you can certainly dollop some little bit of oil on this if you want to make it just slightly more appetizing. Although it's quite good. And you could put some nuts on it. And you could sprinkle just a little bit of sea salt. Just a little bit of sea salt. And what we also did sometimes is we sprinkled some Bragg's on it or some tamari. But there you go, energy soup. Just blend it up. Dulce, great food source. You have an avocado in there. You have apples for sweetness. And a very, 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 very good treat for yourself. Enjoy. Aloha. Mahalo. Mahalo means thank you in Hawaiian. And we so appreciate you coming and viewing this segment and taking it to heart. I hope that you'll write me or call me if you have any questions, because I'm totally available. Mahalo.